Hello. I'm guessing y'all weren't expecting to hear from me today. Just a beautiful Saturday in Middle Tennessee. Off of work today because of the rain, as you can see, dripping into the hot tub there. And I was just like, I'm bored playing video games right now. Ben's asleep right there. Well, sort of asleep. Jerry's hiding somewhere, probably asleep, probably under the bed. Decided, what the heck, for the 50 or so followers I still have, tell them what's going on. I know I've teased this a little bit and I haven't done anything about it, is showing you guys kind of like a day in the life driving a concrete truck. It's just so hard because there's cameras all over the place at my work and they're very anti-cell phone. It's kind of one of those things, it's not really worth the risk for me. We've lost a few drivers in the last several months. One guy just found a better gig. He'd been in concrete for a while and was just over it. That's fine. Another guy retired. Can't blame him for that. Best of luck. And both of those guys were above me seniority-wise. I am now number 2 at my plant. As of right now, I think we have 8 drivers, 8 or 9. At the most, I think we've had like 13. It just fluctuates. Right now, like everywhere in America, we're looking to hire people, and we got trucks, but no one wants to work right now. So I mean, it's weird. You got places that advertise 24/7, like Waffle House. A couple of them have shut down. A couple of them now run on limited hours. The one closest to my house is still 24 hours, but I think that helps living by a college campus. It's just a weird time to be alive right now, for darn sure, for several reasons. We got a new dispatcher. That's been very interesting, actually. We had a rain day earlier this week, and I had time in the office, and I was just in the office. I wasn't talking to him or anything. I leave, and a couple of the guys above me seniority-wise, because we have one driver's above me seniority-wise. Then our loader man has been there since day one when the plant opened, like 4 or 5 years ago. And they made kind of a joint statement to the effect of stop hanging out in the office and kissing up to the new dispatcher, which I was not doing. I just told them, it's like, prove to me, prove it that I was, kissing up. I was just sitting in there. Like, nah, you were kissing up. It's like, I wasn't even talking to the dude. Like, what the heck? But basically, they let me know that they didn't care for the new dispatcher. And so I asked them, it's like, so you're telling me that because you guys don't care for the new dispatcher, I don't mind the guy. His job is to batch concrete. My job is to deliver concrete. It's really simple. And that's what I do. And therefore, I don't really have an issue with him. I ask him questions. I make comments. He's very straight. He's very direct. I appreciate that. I don't have a problem with the guy. But apparently they have an issue with him. So I asked them, it's like, so you're telling me, because you guys don't like the new dispatcher, I'm not allowed to like him either. And like, well, that's not exactly. It's like, shut up. Be quiet. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's so interesting. I owe an apology. I used to have this preconceived notion, and I was completely wrong about it. Granted, it is true for most of my working life, but now working in concrete, it's different. But that thought was that females are the ones that cause drama in the workplace. I mean, that absolutely can be true. Any individual can cause drama, 100%. But I have never worked in such a drama-filled workplace until I worked in concrete, and I'm working with all guys. It's an all-male work environment. It is the most drama-filled workplace I've ever been in. I try to stay out of it. It's amazing. Even trying to stay out of it, I somehow get sucked into stuff all the time. It's hilarious. I'm about ready, because Tennessee's a one-party consent state when it comes to like recording things. I'm really tempted to just wear a recorder around my neck all the time. So that way if someone wants to say that I said something, it's like, well, when did I supposedly say this? Let's play it back and listen to what I actually said. It's just unreal how often my words get twisted and manipulated. Oh, it's horrible. Like, it's almost comical. It's almost like, okay, where are the cameras? Where's the TV show at that we're doing? Like, that's how bad it is at times. Yeah, so it's just funny. It is what it is. I get paid by the hour. It gets paid the same no matter what I'm doing. I get paid to deliver concrete. That's all I'm trying to do. Pay some bills, make ends meet. It's not that hard. Recently got over a concussion. That was pretty cool. I hit my head at work. It wasn't anything that exciting. Like, I more or less grazed my head almost. And I started experiencing concussion symptoms a day and a half later. I hit my head in the middle of the day sometime. I don't remember where or when or anything. Because I hit my head in this exact spot, this exact way before and haven't had issues. I didn't think anything of it. But then symptoms started. That was on a Thursday. Symptoms started to mount Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday was a rain day. We didn't do any work. I just stayed home and rested. That seemed to do okay. I went to work on Wednesday, and oh my gosh, I felt like death. Basically every symptom you could possibly have of a concussion, the majority, I can say every single one, probably like 90% of them I had at one time or another. I called my doctor's office to see what I should do. They say go get checked out for a concussion. So I do, and I'm diagnosed with a concussion. So I was on light duty for work for a week and a half. But the day after I was diagnosed with a concussion, I went to Idaho for a friend's wedding, one of my trucker friends. He actually asked me to be his best man. I called him the day before I'm headed there to tell him, I'm still coming, but I was just diagnosed with a concussion. So I'll be there, but don't really know how useful I'm going to be, as I'm being told to take it easy, stay away from screens, and and not work too hard. And the big thing for me was like motion. It's like picking stuff up, moving it. Not a good idea. Just because there is so much motion in that. Up, down, left, right. Yeah. So that was interesting. The ER doctor that said I had a concussion by his demeanor, did not want me to travel, but by words he never said not to. Just gave me a long list of things to watch and to do and all that good stuff. So that's what I did, and came back, saw my regular doctor after a couple of days. He felt like I was ready to go back to work. I was still having some issues. I didn't feel ready to go back to work. I still didn't feel 100% right, if that makes sense. We agreed on a CT scan, which is the thing to do. He wanted to send me back to work, but he didn't want to unless he had clear imaging that my head was good. So got a CT scan the next day. That was on a Thursday. They sent it to his office on Thursday, and they were supposed to call me on Friday and release me, but they didn't, which I'm kind of happy about. I wanted that time to relax just a little bit more. I was still having symptoms earlier in the week, and I wanted to go the majority of a week symptom-free, doing things normally before going back to work. When I say going back to work, I mean driving a truck. I was still at work every day doing light-duty stuff, helping the mechanic, mopping, cleaning bathrooms, things that don't normally get done, some paperwork, light-duty things. But while having any concussion symptoms, I did not want to be driving my 24-foot-long, 80,000-pound, 13-foot-tall concrete truck. That would not have been smart. But they called me Monday and released me, and I felt good Monday. So back to work, back to the grind. It's been a little different. The dude who was in my truck is a guy that I don't care for. It's not exactly a secret that he and I don't get along. Like, literally, he never even introduced himself. When he first started, he's right now in his second little time with the company. Second time period, and I've been there since well before he started his first time. And even the first time we met, there was no introduction. Hey, my name's this. Hey, my name's that. He right away just started being a jerk. And he's just one of those people. He's genuinely just an unhappy person. And pretty much everyone in my plant says that, but there are some guys he's friendly with. But even behind his back, they'll say that he's not a happy person and he's got issues. But yeah, he took care of the outside of my truck. He kept that looking good. The inside was a mess, and inside my drum where the concrete is actually a mess. There's just a lot of built-up concrete inside the drum of my truck that was not there before. That's all I know. And from what I know, he was the only one to have driven it. And it's kind of frustrating because once there's concrete in there, it keeps building up, and building up until they get chipped out, which happens about twice a year. The problem is they were just chipped out like a month and a half ago. So I'm going to have concrete building up on the inside of my drum until they get chipped out again in roughly 6 months. We'll see what happens. Because then that'll throw me off. Because then it's extra weight on the truck. That part's not a big deal. But also it will throw off my gauge in the truck that tells me how wet the concrete is. Because that's measured by resistance. And if there's more built up in there than what there should be, then if it's, not built up, it throws off that resistance meter. So I'll be chasing that for a long time. I had a load yesterday where they tested me, and my gauge was reading I was at about a 4.5 slump, which is what you'd want for something dry, a little wetter than a curb. Curb you pour it where it just stands straight up, it doesn't go anywhere. Driveway, a little wetter, levels out a little bit better. A 4 in the middle, but roughly, just vaguely speaking. They tested it at a 5.5, which is wetter than I was supposed to be, but at the same time, even after they took their test sample, they had me put water in it, making it even wetter than a 5.5. So, whatever. They took the concrete, that's all I know. And had plenty dry enough for their application, what they were doing with it. So, but just the fact that my gauge was off when they asked me how wet the concrete was, that ain't good. But it's something for me to keep note of. Okay, cool. When it's at this, which is normally a 4, it's now actually at a 5. Okay, cool. Trying to think what else has been going on. Costco opened. That's awesome. So it's been kind of weird getting used to Costco shopping for one. But it's been cool. So far, I've not wasted any Costco purchased items, which is good. Something else I found out about a month ago, and I've been meaning to ask my doctor to do a test to actually diagnose it, but I like to drink milk. I'm a 2% milk guy, and just one day I drank my milk. Expiration was still good. I think it was actually a fresh thing, if I remember correctly. I bought earlier that day, and I just felt like crap. So I kind of started playing around, and basically when I would drink milk on its own, or chocolate milk, I would feel like crap after drinking it. But if I had it mixed with something like cereal, let's say, no problems. So I bought almond milk. I just didn't care for it. That stuff is sweet. But at least in America, in the milk section, you'll see like lactacid milk or whatever. It's like usually twice as much, but it's a lactose-free milk. At Costco, it costs the same for that lactose-free milk as it does the regular 2% milk. As far as your price per ounce is concerned, and that's how I shop, is by price per ounce, price per serving, price per load when it comes to like washing detergent and stuff. It came out to be the same. So that's really cool. And since I've been on that milk, I haven't had any problems. But it'd be kind of cool to have a medical diagnosis that I'm lactose intolerant. I've still had cheeseburgers. I've not had a problem with cheeseburgers. I might be somewhere in the middle. Just straight milk, I feel like death. Have a lot of the lactose intolerant symptoms. I don't have that on lactose-free milk. So that's cool. And then that lactose-free milk, it's good for like 2 months. It's awesome. It'd be really hard for any of that to go bad. Speaking of which, I'm out, and it's the weekend, and I need more. I just don't know if I want a Costco trip on a weekend just for milk. It's kind of weird. Those of you that don't, they go to Costco, you probably know. When you go there, you're going to spend a lot of money because there's a lot of stuff you'll need, a lot of stuff you'll use. But for me being single, I got to be smart. I can't buy in bulk like my parents would when they would be buying stuff for them plus me and my siblings. So for 5 people, for me, I'm buying just for myself. So, I'd rather go and make more small trips, especially because without traffic, it's 5 minutes from work, and it's right by the freeway. So it's too convenient to not do. I just don't know if I want to go today on a Saturday. But with it raining, people are probably less likely to be going. But yeah, I'll probably go later today just to be out of the house for a little bit. Just for fun, I got an antibodies test for COVID. being in a hot spot in America, at least. Having a couple of outbreaks at my church, a couple of outbreaks at work, but I never had symptoms or anything, never had a problem. And my antibody test came back negative, which suggests I've never gotten COVID. So that was just interesting to me, because I'm one of those people where I'll wash my hands, I'll stay away from people, making an effort to stay away from touching my face. When it comes to wearing a mask, I only wear one if I absolutely have to. Generally speaking, I do not feel safer because other people are wearing masks. I do not feel safer because you have fast food restaurant worker people wearing gloves instead of their hands, because gloves contract disease and stuff the same way the hands do. So unless they're either washing their gloves every 10 to 15 minutes like they're supposed to do with their hands, or they're replacing their gloves every 10 to 15 minutes, which I've never seen them do, but it could just be my timing. I've just never seen them do it. Not to say that they don't. I've never seen it. It just, it is what it is. So right now, that's just interesting to me. Just leaving things. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to go anywhere else. I'm not going to talk vaccine and thoughts, because that, there's several sides to every story. I'm someone where I genuinely have not lost any connections because someone's gotten vaccinated or has not gotten vaccinated. I will ask them questions and just kind of make sure that they're on footing that at least makes sense. Whether I agree with it or not is one thing. There's a guy at church, he kept, based on his demeanor, and I think at one point he actually said, he felt like I was interrogating him and judging him because of his decision. It's like, no, dude, I respect you. I respect the way you think, because it's different. It's different than mine, and that's a good thing. I want to see how he's, what led him to that decision. And, that it's no issue. Just had questions. So, that's pretty much it. I've had a couple of truck repair bills lately that not fun. My truck's paid off, so now it's at a point, instead of making a vehicle payment, I'm paying for repairs. I had two leaks that I discovered at the same time. Water would get in the cab when it rains. One in the back, one in the front. Yeah, it cost $1,000 to replace. And now I'm noticing I'm having paint chip from basically it's on the top of the truck, but there's spots all over where it's started to go bad. I don't know how, don't know why. Very, very sudden. But now with the paint chipping, there's places even as big as like a baseball, or, actually there's one that I'd say is probably a softball, basically just an open hand, boom. So now I need to get that either fixed or potentially just get the whole truck repainted. That's going to cost me some money. But it is what it is. It's living life as an adult. There's always another project. So always something to spend money on, whether you want to or not. And the truck needs to get it done to protect, because after the paint's gone, it's just metal underneath. And, we got winter coming up. That means ice. That means salted roads. Salt plus metal equals rust and other issues. So it needs to get fixed sooner than later before it becomes a problem. That's really it. So I haven't updated regularly. Just, the life I'm living right now. I'm doing the same thing every day. I work 6 days a week except for when it rains. I go to church on Sunday. Watch my NASCAR in the afternoons, or in the case of this weekend, tonight at Bristol. It is what it is. But anyway, that's all. Hope you guys are doing well. Someone did ask me a while back if the Waverly floods affected me. The answer is no. I got some rain out of that, but Waverly's far enough away, it didn't affect me at all in the slightest. I do have a friend who's from the area, no longer lives up there, and they have a friend who who lost their house, either lost their house or had to move out of their house or leave their house. I forget the specifics, but other than that, no real issues as far as that is concerned. Boys are still alive and well, keeping me entertained, being weird. We're in the process of changing kitty litter right now that Costco's open. And that's been a little bit more of a process than I thought it'd be, but it is what it is. I think I found stuff they finally like and that I like, so it's good. Stuff I was getting them was just high dollar. It was really expensive. But anyway, talk to y'all later. That's kind of the update with me, and yeah, have a good one. Or hope y'all are doing well. I think I already said that. I hope y'all are staying safe, all that fun stuff. But yeah, feel free to talk it up in the comment section. It's kind of fun to respond to you guys every so often and have those interactions. See ya.